Hello everybody, welcome to the vMix Funtime Live Show. For January 2026, we've arrived. We've finally made 2026, which is pretty exciting.
We did it. 2026, huh?
Yeah.
I've had a really good break. Just saying.
Yeah, you were supposed to do a recap of your trip away.
Of my personal holiday?
Yes. With your personal family and friends and various other things that you did along the way.
It was a good trip. It was a very good trip.
It's been 50 days since we did our last stream.
Yes, because we did an early stream in December, and now back to the late streams, mostly because it's hard to organise everything.
And so much has changed. We have so much amazing information that's occurred over the slowest period of the year.
Yeah, there's been a few things that have come up, and a couple of things that I missed in the past few months that I'll get to talk about. So that's good. But yes, it is a little bit quieter at this time of year.
So get in your exciting questions and comments for us so that we can pad our content for this month with those amazing comments.
Yes.
It's 2026, and so we're trying to bring dabbing back. So Heath's going to do a lot of dabbing in this episode.
Is he?
If you missed our intro video, plenty of dabbing there. So if you wanted to help us bring that back, that would be great. It's 2026. It's the year of the dab.
Is it also hashtag bring back the dab?
If you want.
Just because, why not bring back hashtags while we're at it?
Yeah, I haven't used a hashtag in quite a while, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. Cool. All right, well, let's just get straight into it, hey?
Yes.
Tiny Titan time.
Okay, so the first topic to talk about is OBSBOT. So these guys are constantly bringing out new products, and the latest product that has not quite released but is in countdown right now, and I think it releases in about 2 hours time maybe, is the new OBSBOT Tiny 3 and Tiny 3 Lite. Now, I've been given early access to both of them, which is pretty cool.
We're not embargoed, are we?
Well, I checked with OBSBOT to make sure I could talk about this, and they said that I could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what is interesting about these. The first thing that is quite interesting is how small they are. So if you have a look at these, and if we just give it a second, that there is the 23, and behind it the 23 Lite. And then on the other side are your Tiny 2 range, and you can see just how much smaller they are now. So that's pretty cool. They've managed to really pack things down to the smallest size that I've seen a PTZ webcam so far. The other thing that is quite interesting is the resolution and frame rate of these cameras. So they've often, like the 23 and the 22 and 22 Lite have been able to do 4K 30, so of previous models. But what the 23 offers now is the ability to do 1080 at 120 frames per second. Now we've run a few tests with vMix and it does work. The frame rate's coming in a tad faster than I would have expected it, which does mean that if you're capturing for instant replay, you're gonna lose maybe 1 frame every few seconds. But 1 frame at those speeds will be hard to notice, especially with a webcam. So really good for capturing content like if you're operating a gaming controller and you're really fast, say it's Tetris or something like that, with that really fast flicking motion, you know, that Tetris do, you might be able to freeze that and play it back in slow-mo or something like that. So an interesting option for you guys, and we'll have a little bit of a greater look at the camera a little later. The other interesting things about the Tiny 3 range, on the website, they're a bit guarded on what they're sharing at the moment, but there's 2 things that I found somewhat interesting, and we'll see what they are pretty soon, I imagine. The first one is OBSBOT avatars. Apparently you can substitute yourself for a cartoon avatar, and I'm assuming that will be live. So hang out in about 2 hours time. I think we're going to learn about that. And the other thing is, it looks like OBSBOT are going to release a tiny wireless microphone that will work directly with the OBSBOT cameras without a receiver, because the cameras themselves will operate as the receivers. Now, I could be wrong. The details are pretty loose at the moment, but if that is the case, that's pretty cool as well. So it does mean that you've saved on a USB port for an audio receiver if you need a wireless mic with your webcam, because I've never found a webcam with a good enough microphone that you'd want to use in a live show. Good enough for, say, a Zoom call or a Teams call, but for an actual live production, yeah, I wouldn't use the built-in microphones. The last thing is PTZ controls. All of the OBSBOT range can be controlled in vMix as PTZ cameras, and I will show you that a little bit later in the show. Cool. Next topic is trade shows. Normally we wouldn't be talking about trade shows this early in the year because there isn't normally something we'd be going to, but I personally will be going to ISE. So I'm interested in a few different things while I'm there. I will just be looking around and seeing what I can find. But the first thing that I am interested in, this got announced at IBC last year, but was not released for sale for quite a few months and later. This is the BirdDog XL Ultra. It's a full NDI camera, but the two interesting things about it are, the first one is it has a 4/3 sensor. So that's bigger than a 1-inch sensor. So that's one of the biggest sensor PTZ cameras on the market. The only other one I know of that's bigger is that Sony camera that has interchangeable lenses. That thing's pretty expensive by the time you add a good lens. This thing has 20 times optical zoom and a 4/3 sensor, which is pretty cool. So I really want to see the quality of this. So I'm going to go over and see them at their booth and have a good look at the quality. And the other interesting thing about it is that second lens down on the bottom of the camera. That is a wide angle fixed lens with no zoom, but I can see there being real benefits to places like churches or stage productions where you've got a wide angle shot of your audience or your congregation, and then you've got all of your PTZ shots for the close-ups. So I can see it being quite handy for those things. And they are both 4K capable and both NDI capable, both SDI capable. So lots of options. So
full bandwidth NDI?
Full bandwidth NDI and NDI HX if you are happy with that flavor.
So the back panel has multiple SDI outs for it?
Yes. Yeah, so lots of options, but I'm actually going to go and have a good look at this thing and hopefully be able to tell you even more about it.
You're going to report live?
That is unknown. That is an unknown at this point. No, I probably won't, but I will definitely be capturing all the details I can get about it. All right, the next item is the YoloCam S7 that's getting spoken about a fair bit at the moment. It's also a 4/3 sensor, but it is a webcam. It looks interesting. I'd say it's a little bit expensive for what it is, but if you're looking for the best webcam image quality, it's going to be pretty up there. One thing that I would say, and I was talking to you about this a little while ago, and I think you agree, we don't know about the image processing capabilities of this company versus the guys that have been around for years and years, such as Sony and Panasonic. So I would probably still lean towards a real micro 4/3 camera if I was looking at a sensor of that size and hooking that up via HDMI. But for ease of use and all of that, this could be an option. So I want to go and see it and see what sort of image quality you can actually get out of the device. Next is the Yamaha C1 that I want to check out. This is a very interesting device that got announced only a few days ago at another trade show called, what's it called?
It's NAMM.
NAMM. Okay. Yes. So it's interesting in that it is a motorized fader with some audio controls that you would expect from a Yamaha mixer, audio mixer, but it also has some Stream Deck buttons at the top that can function as all sorts of things, but include Stream Deck support. So I'm hoping that they will have one at the show, and I plan on taking a laptop and trying to plug vMix in and seeing what we can do with it. So who knows? We haven't been able to find one here in Australia. I'm not actually sure they're genuinely released yet. I haven't found anywhere that actually has them in stock worldwide. So hopefully they'll come out very soon, but hopefully I'll get early access at the show. All right, and the last item is the Netgear AV range. There's a couple new Netgear switches that are coming to ISE. This one looked pretty interesting to me in that it is a 16-port 2.5G supported switch. And 2.5G I think is a bit of a sweet spot when it comes to most motherboards these days have a 2.5G port. And if they have a 10G port in them, they're normally low quality ones. So we often will recommend the 2.5G port get used for vMix anyway. So this is 16 2.5G ports, 8 of which have the Nutric connector, which is a nice robust lock-in connector. So I think that's a pretty cool option. And then it's got 4 25G fiber ports as well. So I can see this being really useful for applications of full NDI or OMT and that sort of workflow. So yeah, I'm very keen. If you guys know of anything else at ISE that you think will be cool to see, or if you are going and you happen to see anything, please let us know. I'd love to go and see it too. So I'll be there the whole time.
Bird dog camera?
Oh, it's about 7,000 US.
Right.
So it's pricey, but it is pretty much one of the best, on paper, one of the best PTZ cameras out there.
I feel like you're going to have to carry around your own, like, boards, color boards, focus boards, a little like mechanical thing that you can stand in front of it with just to make sure, with the exact same thing, so you can test out all the cameras under the same
some
conditions.
quality tests.
Yeah.
I'll bring my own like soft boxes and lighting and.
Yep. I think that's the only real way to test it out.
Well, who knows? I might be able to convince them to lend us one.
And then you can live stream it.
Yeah, it does look like a good camera. So, and it's been announced for a while. It's just they hadn't come out for quite a while. So hopefully, oh hey, if any of you have bought one, how is it? Please let us know. Cool.
It's vMix tips and tricks. vMix tips and tricks.
Okay, let's jump into vMix and have a look at some stuff. And as I said earlier in the show, we're going to look at the OBSBOT Tiny 3. So I'm going to grab their premium one. So the difference between the two, I haven't spoken about it until now, but the difference between the Tiny 3 and the Tiny 3 Lite are really just the sensor. You get a higher quality and larger sensor in the Tiny 3, and you do pay for that. We don't know what the pricing is going to be, but we do know that they're going to be more expensive than the Tiny 2s. I did notice they've got like a cashback thing where you can trade in your old OBSBOTs, but...
Cashback?
Is that the term?
Yeah.
Cashback?
Cashback.
Yeah, they've got something, but personally,
For cams.
I've never been a fan of cashback.
Cash for cams.
It's always not a whole lot of money, and you generally...
They're in the chat, so you let them know.
You generally can benefit from having two, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
So keep them both. That would be my suggestion. Anyway, we're going to hook this up. So I just happen to have a laptop here, and so let's jump into it. All right, here we are. I've set up my laptop. I'm plugging in my camera. I'm hooking it up on top of the little mount that the Tiny 3 comes with. And hopefully you can just see it there. Yeah, there we go. It's just in the shot there. That is loading up right now and it's ready. So I'm going to open up the OBSBOT Center software. And straight away, I can see here's the camera here. And this is the thing that drew my attention almost immediately. And that is that 1080p 120 resolution. Anyway, we can see that, and while we're here, I'm just going to show you that I also have the ability to manage my exposure. So I can turn on auto exposure to start with, and let's just bring the camera in. So we'll go down to add input, click on camera. Straight away, vMix finds the camera. We use a special Media Foundation driver to bring in OBSBOT cameras to get the best frame rate and quality from them. And I can bring this in straight away at 1080p 120. So I'll click OK. And there we go. So the auto exposure, let me just fix up the positioning. The auto exposure and colors, I think, do need a bit of tweaking, especially compared to our color style. As you can see, we've got a little bit more yellowy green in our camera, but we have the ability to fix that in the OBSBOT Center control software. But let's start with some of the basics. We'll look at the PTZ controls. I just wanted to show you this real quick and show you how simple it is.
So just to note, the audio will be a little bit delayed because we don't have the USB running at a delay with our microphone. So
correct, yeah. So sorry if
don't worry about that.
Sorry if it's just a little bit out. All right, going down to UVC PTZ and connect. And there we go. We've now connected the camera up and we can control it. So I can go up and side to side and I can zoom in and zoom out and the like. And now because it is set to 120, I will go here and put this into manual exposure so that we can control all of the details of the camera, because I really need that shutter speed to be nice and fast. Now, the trick there is you need to control your lighting in order to manage shutter speed. So we happen to have a reasonably good environment here. We've got soft boxes and we've got LED lights behind us that don't tend to flicker under most situations. But if you're using this in your regular bedroom with regular lighting, you might find some real challenges with flicker. But the reason we need that high frame rate is that if we're slowing down the footage that we record in vMix, we don't want that motion blur to be captured. We want it to be really quite frozen in time each frame. And so that's the importance of speeding up that shutter speed. And the bigger that the bigger the denominator in this number, the faster you're going to be capturing. But it also means that as you make it faster, you're bringing in less light, and therefore the shot will get darker. You need to up your ISO in order to compensate for that. But realistically, at 120, something around this range is going to be more than enough, so I can bring that ISO back down, find a bit of a balance. Now I'm just going to go down and do a bit of white balance adjustment just to sort of try and color match very roughly. Sort of maybe here. And just boost that ISO a tiny bit more. There we go. All right. So that's how easy it is to add it into vMix. The next thing to quickly look at is how we would be able to capture it at high frame rate. So I'm going to add input, go on to instant replay. I can browse and just set up a new folder called replay. Help if it was using the right keyboard. Replay. Select that. Set my frame rate to 120. Even though my production or preset is running at 60, it's a good idea to run this at 120 so that I can capture everything at 120, but play it back at 60 in my preset. And if I play it at half speed, I will still have every single frame there available to me. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments. So I'm selecting the camera, clicking on OK. We can now start recording. I'll do a bit of this and capture it. And now we'll play it back and we'll slow it right down. And you can see just how smooth I can get quite fast hand motions at slow speed thanks to the 120 capture. So very good. There we go. That's all I wanted to show you. That for the first time, as far as I'm aware, we have a webcam that has PTZ controls and 120 capture. So I think that's pretty cool. I think the Tail 2 could do it, but I wouldn't class that a webcam. I would class that a full PTZ camera. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully you found that interesting, and yes, all of the details of the 23 will come out in maybe an hour now.
No. Oh. We've been informed that it's Something 8 hours roughly from now.
Oh,
I think.
I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I got my numbers
You
wrong.
broke the embargo early, and now somebody's on their way to our office.
The important thing to note is if you do buy a Tiny 3 or Tiny 3 Lite, it will work in vMix quite well. The image quality, well, you could see the image quality compared to our pretty high-end camera. So you can decide for yourself whether that is a good option for you. It's certainly cheaper than the high-end cameras that we use.
I mean, there's only like almost $10,000 difference.
Yes. So there you go. All right.
Midnight Pacific on the 28th. So I think it's currently 7:20-ish Pacific. No, Eastern on the 27th. So do with that what you will. I can't quite work that out. But yeah, roughly 8 hours or 7 hours from now.
So my summary of the OBSBOT Tiny 3s, I don't know how much they are, but I think they'll be good value for what they are. So yes, there you go. And apologies for that push in. That was rough. All right.
It sure was.
There you go. Okay. If you're interested in how that push-in works, let us know in the comments, but I suspect you are not. Okay.
It's the YouTube.
We were just trying for a YouTube look.
Real-time YouTube push-in to emphasize things.
Yes. Yes. Or if we want to talk about something, just very calming and, we can just have a nice slow zoom in and, it's been a good week, don't you think? It really has.
I find that I spend most of my time like watching YouTube videos and watching the corners of a desk to see the incremental zoom in. Because like nobody has static shots anymore. No. It's at a 0.001% zoom over 20 seconds. It's just crazy. It's what we all go for these days, except for us. We do it occasionally.
Well, it's harder to do in live workflows.
I mean, live, yeah, but like with tutorials and things like that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be showing information, whereas most of the YouTube videos you look at, it's talking heads, so there has to be some kind of motion.
Give it a little bit more.
I do love the fake camera movement as well. It's always good. Always good.
Quite a while ago, I tried to do fake camera movement in vMix using like constant merge.
Oh, yeah.
It is awful. So don't do that. Don't bother with that. Yeah. No, camera movement is not something that we have as a feature. Let us know in the comments if you want that as a feature. A shaky cam.
I mean, just adds to the...
It'd be achievable. It's just, is it really helpful? Who knows? All right. I think it might be time for Q&A, hey?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It's time for Q&A.
Yes, push in info, please.
Yeah, okay. So all I'm doing there, actually I can demonstrate this really fast, and apologies for those that know how it works already. Okay, so going back to this, I'll just get rid of the ones that are a bit confusing. So let's simplify this. Let's start with our camera here. I'm right-clicking on settings. I'm creating a virtual input. And from there, now I've got a virtual copy of input 1. From there, I can go to the settings and I can manipulate it. So I can go to its position and I can just zoom it a little bit like that and maybe move it over a little bit or whatever. And so now all we're doing is we're merging from one to the other because these two inputs are effectively the same input. You can merge between them. And let me show you. So I'm going to put that up into preview. So it's now here. And my output of the show is this one on the right. And so when I hit merge, it simply transitions from one to the other using a merge of 1 second or 1,000 milliseconds. So I can speed that up or slow it down. I can also change or add another. And I can merge to a different shot and things like that. So we've just applied shortcuts that do merges to those particular virtual inputs, and that's how we're getting those push-ins. So, and we did one really long one. I set one to the full 10 seconds that you can set a transition to. I set that for a really slow zoom in, which is the effect that you saw a bit earlier as well. So there you go. That is how that works. Thank you for asking. I'm not sure many people cared, but thank you for asking.
Gave Heath reason to...
You gave me reason to talk about it. Yeah, why not? All right, no dual stream today. Okay, that's a good question. So what you're referring to, I take it, is YouTube's new feature, which is dual streaming. And we have been playing with it the last week or so. The way that it works is in YouTube, in your settings, you can tell YouTube that you want to dual stream, and dual streaming for them means sending out one full widescreen shot and sending out a secondary portrait shot that crops out the center. That's what you will send out, and that goes to your YouTube Shorts channel. Allegedly. Now, we ran a heap of tests, and occasionally it works, and occasionally they just don't seem to appear in Shorts. Yeah. It's also a little bit hard to find live Shorts when you're scrolling through Shorts on a phone.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what the discoverability is going to be of these things. So what we did is we set up my computer. It was just a simple stream, just the petrol camera, but we had it framed in the center, so we knew that we were going to get a portrait, and we had the widescreen as well. So we sent that off. Everybody was commenting on the horizontal, the widescreen stream that we had going, and then we tried to force our subscription. So like Heath had it on his phone, trying to load up the vMix HD Shorts page with live to try and see that thing. But it only works if it's suggested to you. So you can't really navigate to a live stream on Shorts deliberately, is what we found at least.
You have to stumble on it as you're flicking through your Shorts, just going one to the next.
Yes, and so for the longest time we couldn't get it to work. Then somehow you got to the live stream page once, and then that's all we could see was our vMix thing. So
if you're scrubbing through your Shorts and you tap and pause one of your Shorts, you get presented subscriptions, live, and something else I can't remember. So you can go to only look at Shorts that are from your subscriptions, or you can go to only live content. So I went to only live content, and that's where we found it in the end. But it wasn't there the first, second, third try, despite the fact that my account was subscribed to vMix. So I'm kind of surprised at that. I would have thought that it would have been pushed to me as a priority because I was a subscriber of vMix, and therefore I would have thought that they would be trying to show me the content that I'm most interested in. But it didn't work the way we expected. It did eventually work, and then it was easy. Then I was getting it quite frequently. So it's almost like it caught up, or the algorithm updated itself, or something like that.
A bit strange.
But so by the end of it, it was working. And so the interesting thing about it that I didn't mention earlier is the way it works is you've got these two streams running, but it merges the commenting. So that's really good. It means that all comments are flowing into one place, even if you're watching it as a short versus watching it in the widescreen format, the regular format. So that's cool that everyone's commenting together.
Yeah, it's strange. Like the actual help documentation on how to do this is wrong.
Oh, it's very wrong.
So yeah, it's very confusing. Like I know it's been in beta for quite a while now, and so there's information on how to use that. But then when you go to use it now, it's completely different. They relabeled things, and they also made it look like you needed two stream keys. And someone in the chat just said that that's going to be an option in the future where you'll have two different keys, like one vertical and one horizontal. But
that would be really good.
It isn't. It's hard if they're going to combine everything. That makes it difficult because what if you've got your encoder sending it at a slight lag to the other one? It's going to be potentially presenting different things, and I don't know. It's going to
Ideally,
be weird.
Yeah. If they do give you access to two stream keys and then combine it all together, I think it would be really good because you could set up a second output out of vMix that is portrait dedicated, so you can like manipulate your content so that it's designed for portrait. Because for instance, for us, if we were to use the dual stream right now, all people would see would be Dan on a windsurfing board. and you wouldn't see Tim or I because it only crops that center section out.
My concern is, one of the concerns I have is that if somebody could potentially be like sending different information, if that makes sense.
True.
So you could be
True.
like clickbaiting people
You
into
could,
getting
yeah.
to your mainstream, but it's not the right thing or
Yeah,
something,
you
or
could-
like presenting something that was
Yeah.
not correct, but or like a recorded thing or something that wasn't actually live, or who knows what. So I don't know. We'll find out in the next few months as more people try and use it.
It might be why they haven't given the 2 stream key option, because of that very reason. Who knows?
Essentially. Yep.
Who
It's
knows?
like Rob's on the bus again.
Very good. Where are you headed, Rob?
Maybe home, I think.
Are
he's
there
usually
any
on the bus.
ferries? Are there any ferries on Rob's trip, or is it somebody else that normally gets on a ferry?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's in like Scotland or somewhere, isn't it? In the UK somewhere.
Is anybody watching from a ferry today? Let us know. So cold in California, I had to put socks on. Ah, there you go.
Getting cold.
That is cold. Did you watch Alex Scale Taipei 101 live?
I got plenty of thoughts about this.
Neither of us watched it live, but both of us have watched the footage. Tim's watched a lot more than I have.
Yeah, I fired it up.
That.
Technically really well put together. Like the 99% of it was really well filmed, and actually being able to obviously do it is a crazy feat of human skill. It's just insane. But the actual production of it, I don't know whether you watched it, but the actual production with the commentating and the camera switching and the triple and double audio most of the time was just really bad. So,
How would you rate it?
You put me on the spot. It's too long.
I'm sorry.
It's way too short of a time.
do you want me to
That's
do
why
it again?
You don't need it triggered.
Do-
No,
do-
well, you need to have it so that it's not triggered. Like, you need to.
Okay.
You can do a slow push in if you want.
I would rate it 8 out of 10.
That works. Yeah. You're a pro YouTuber now. Technically speaking, it's 10 out of 10, but production wise, I'd give it like a 2 out of 10. Like, it was just not well put together.
I guess because it's something that's never been done before, it is probably harder to map out how it's all going to flow and produce something like that. But it did feel like the actual producers
I feel like the
left a bit to be desired.
like the actual, they were trying to make it for the everyman. So they had, a WWE wrestler and somebody else commentating on it. Whereas just watching it without any commentary would have been fine for me. But I think they had to try and tap into a particular market, I'm guessing. Anyway, that's enough about that. We can talk about it in the post show. If anybody, I've seen some of the behind the scenes, like camera work and stuff, and it's incredible. Like, just insane to think that that's what they pulled off. This person's put this in a few times.
Running a Decklink Duo 2 in vMix, one SDI cam is rock solid, other shows random black frames. Swap cams, cables, converters. Issue follows the Decklink input. So first thing I would suggest is make sure that you're actually in a PCIe slot that fully supports, in your case, PCIe, is it 2x4, I believe, for the Duo 2. It should, but make sure that you haven't connected it into something that only has like one lane of support, one lane electrically connected to your CPU. That's important. Also, if it's running through the chipset, and by that I mean some PCIe slots are connected via your chipset on the motherboard and then pass through to the CPU. Going through the chipset is not always it's not recommended by vMix. But it's not always successful because you're sharing bandwidth with other stuff. So that'd be the first thing that I'd tackle. Otherwise, send us a support report while the camera is running and giving you issues, and we might be able to spot something. Last thing to try is use Studio Monitor, which is Media Express. My mistake. Use Blackmagic's Media Express. Try bring the cameras in there to see whether it's a vMix challenge or whether it's the card itself. That might reveal something. But yeah, get in touch if you continue to have issues. I just bought the Blackmagic Ultra Studio monitor to output via Thunderbolt. Will I get better image quality compared to using full screen output on the LiveView Solo Pro? I don't know the answer to that, I'm sorry. We don't have either of the products to be able to check or test.
We do, but...
Yeah. Have we got the Solo
We
Pro?
don't have the LiveView, no. But you could do it. I mean, you could probably do a comparison on anything else that was monitoring it.
Sure. But as far as image quality goes, Thunderbolt's going to give you a decent amount of bandwidth. The LiveView Solo Pro, though.
I think, from how I read this, is that if you were using this is just going into the LiveView. So will the full screen output be better or a Thunderbolt output be better? Not from the LiveView Solo.
Oh.
Into the LiveView Solo.
Okay.
Anyway. But...
sorry, I don't know.
Yeah. So the
It's not
Ultra
equipment
Studio
I've
should be
tested
better.
Too much.
According, I would say. Just depends on your setup and, what you're doing, whether you've got Thunderbolt out, and if you do, that might be the best way to go. But if you've already got one, I would recommend just testing it out and see if it's right for you. Other people might prefer to be able to just send out from the graphics card HDMI, but most people in the chat have said, yes, 100%, use the Ultra Studio. So
Good, okay.
give that a whirl.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're about done for time, but we'll answer some more questions in the post-show. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. It has been very nice. In fact, we'll slow zoom our way into saying goodbye. Farewell, people.
Goodbye. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next month. And if you're watching us live, we'll have plenty more time in the post-show. If you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, join us live sometime. And
Indeed.
chat to us in real time.
All right. See you next month.
Thanks for watching. We gotta go. This has been the vMix Fun Time Live Show.